Alright. Hey, hi, hello, good evening. It's only 5 in the afternoon. Feels a hell of a lot later than that. Alexandrian Codex, etc., etc. I guess I should update my fucking stream title, huh? So this is a dumb meme bit. But let's do this. Let's do this. Let's be dumb and memey. Let's rank leftist ideologies. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to make this like vaguely educational as we're ranking through each one, because you know what, half of these I don't know what the fuck they are, or I vaguely know what they are. Accelerationism. Accelerationism is, you know what, Wikipedia, you're gonna be doing the heavy lifting for me today, is the idea that capitalism and technological change should be accelerated. That the collapse of capitalism should be accelerated. Yeah. It can mean that capitalism and its negative processes should be accelerated in order to trigger revolt and implementation of a new system. D tier. It's stupid. It's very stupid. Let's make the material conditions of people worse so that things will just magically happen, so that revolution will magically happen. No, it's fucking dumb. If you were really interested in making revolution happen, I don't know, try organizing and actually like making material changes that empower people to affect change, rather than just trying to make conditions worse so that people will grow so desperate or capitalism will be unable to sustain itself. Accelerationism is fucking dumb. Anarchism. Oh boy, I can't wait to see the misleading description of this. Anarchism is a political philosophy and movement that's skeptical of authority and rejects all involuntary coercive forms of hierarchy. Calls for the abolition of the state, which it holds to be undesirable, unnecessary, and harmful. Yep. So anarchism, I'll give you a solid B tier. Solid B tier. Yeah, alright. Personally, I think some sort of, not hierarchy, but some sort of structure, not a state, not necessarily, is necessary to maintain the kind of technological quality that we have socially and to progress technologically. I think there's a future in anarchism, that technology can actually make anarchism easier and more accessible, but it's a solid B tier for me. Maybe an A tier. You know what? Let's make it an A tier. It's not my ideology, but I have a lot of respect for it. Anarcho-Communism, also known as anarchist communism, is a political philosophy and anarchist school of thought which abdicates the abolition of the state, capitalism, wage labor, social hierarchies, and private property. It's good shit. It's good shit. Give it an A tier. Anarcho-pacifism. Probably another A or B tier, if I had to guess from the name. Is an anarchist school of thought that advocates for the use of peaceful, non-violent forms of resistance in the struggle for social change. Listen, good for you, but I do not think that, yeah, you wouldn't rank accelerationism as D tier. Even I'm leaving it open for F tier. I might play with it more once we're done, but like some of these things, like lesbian separatism or Pol Potism or national Bolshevikism, I think I'm more opposed to than accelerationism. Anarcho-pacifism, good for you. I don't really think it's possible. Oh, we get to talk about anarcho-primitivism. Is stupid. Anarcho-primitivism is a political ideology that advocates a return to non-civilized ways of life through deindustrialization, abolition of the division of labor, specialization, and abandonment of large-scale organization technologies. F. No. Fuck no. Medicine saves lives on incredible scales. Anarcho-primitivism is just gross. Yep, the bar for F has been lowered. Yeah. Anarcho-primitivism is fucking stupid. Yeah, technology's the problem. Technology makes it so that people can live. People don't die in their 30s or 40s. That people are able to... I can fucking see? No, fuck you. If you're an anarcho-primitivist, you have a fetishistic worldview of what it's like to exist in a world outside of modern technology. Anarcho-Syndicalism, hell yeah. I think this is me, actually. Anarcho-Syndicalism is a political philosophy and an anarchist school of thought that views revolutionary industrial unionism, or syndicalism, as a method for workers in capitalist society to gain control of an economy and thus control influence in broader society. The end goal of syndicalism is to abolish the wage system, regarding it as wage slavery. Anarcho-syndicalist theory, therefore, generally focuses on the labor movement. Love me some anarcho-syndicalists. I'm like a Marxist syndicalist. I'm very pro, like, democratization of the workplace. I'm pro-union, I'm pro-labor, but anything that's anarcho-anything, I'm like, a little bureaucracy might still be good. Let's not be too hasty. Anti-civ. What the fuck? Anarchist library, help me out. What is anti-civ? I'm getting anti... Oh god, this is just like anarcho-primitivism by a different name. Cities are a blight. Civilization is inherently oppressive. Fuck off. No. No return to monkey. Yeah, I like clean water and safety codes. Yeah, me too. No, fuck. Nope. F tier. Autonomism. Also known as autonomous Marxism and autonomous Marxism. I'm sorry. Oh, autonomist and autonomous. I'm like, did I just say the same word twice? Is an anti-authoritarian left-wing political and social movement. In theory, is a theoretical system. Okay, yeah, but what defines it? In contrast to centralized decisions and hierarchy authority of structures of modern institutions, autonomous social movements involve people directly in decisions affecting their everyday lives. How is this not anarchism? Seeking to expand democracy and help individuals break free of political structures and behavior patterns imposed from the outside. This has involved a call for the independence of social movements from political parties. Seems fine. Seems fine. Seems perfectly okay. Is that Chavism I spy? What? No. Oh no, it is. Oh no. Now we get to talk about Bothism, which, wow, didn't think I'd be talking about today. Bothism, meaning Renaissance or resurrection, is an Arab nationalist ideology promoting the development and creation of a unified Arab state through the leadership of a vanguard party over a progressive revolutionary government. The ideology is based on the ideas of Syrian intellectuals Michel Aflaq, Zakai al-Arsuzi, and Salah al-Din al-Bitar. A Baathist society seeks enlightenment, renaissance of Arab culture, values, and society. See, that's where you start running into some problems. Like, progressive revolutionary sounds good. Nationalist? Not good. Culture, values. It supports the creation of one-party states and rejects political pluralism in an unspecified length of time. Theoretically uses an unspecified amount of time to develop an enlightened Arabic society. It's like Soviet Arabism. It's very Soviet socialism exported to the Middle East, and it was what Iraq was. This is listen, I think this is a D tier. I respect that more than anarcho-primitivism. I'll be real with you. Listen, the ghost of Chavez is trending on Twitter right now. Chavez has nothing to fear from me. Yeah, religious states, not for me. Bordigism? Oh my god, there's Neo-Bordigism. I don't even know what this is. Bordigism. Bordigism? Bordigism is a variety of left communism espoused by Bordiga, who is a founder of the Communist Party of Italy, that's why you haven't heard of it, and a prominent figure in the International Communist Party. Bordigists would be the first to refuse on principle any participation in parliamentary elections? What? Okay, alright. This is like a case study for leftist memes are too long. I'm not reading all of this. I don't... Okay, alright. Libcom. Library. Bordigism. Communism is a negation of capitalism, movement produced by development of yada 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 yada. Oh my god. Help. Help. I don't know what this is. I have no idea what this is, and every explanation I'm seeing is just like this. I didn't want to read theory tonight. This was supposed to be like a quick 5 minutes in and out. What is Bordigism? Unlike Dutch-German left communists, Bordiga was a state socialist. Okay. He had a tactical disagreements with Leninists and accurately assessed the capitalist nature of the Russian Revolution. Interesting. He was very purist, singularly committed to his vision of communism, how to get there against reformists, against coalitions, against popular fronts. I'd say some of his ideas maybe had some influence on the... Okay, I don't know what you mean by ultra-left, but you won't find many Bordigists. It's a pretty odd hodgepodge. In my view, those who viewed him as kind of mildly interesting sectarian Leninist were basically right. Seems fine. Seems fine. That's where I land on that. I never heard of you. Seems fine. Chavismo. Chavism is a left-wing political ideology based on the ideas, programs, government style, and style associated with former Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez. Democratic socialism, left-wing populism, patriotism, internationalism, Bolivarianism, Caribbean and Latin American integration. Okay, democratic socialism, fine. Left-wing populism, good. Patriotism, bad. Internationalism, good. Bolivarism, is a gringo, I can't really say. Caribbean and Latin American integration. Interesting. I like the idea of, like, solidarity between Latin and Central American countries. Chavez is fine. Chavez is fine. Even good, even. Like, it's in here somewhere. I don't know. Yeah. Despite his claim to socialist rhetoric, Chavismo has frequently been cited as state capitalist by critics. And that's kind of where I sit on it. Like, yeah, Noam Chomsky said, I never described Chavez as state capitalist government socialist or even hinted at such an absurdity. Yeah. Siding with the robo-futurist? Don't tell me robo-futurism's on here. No, I mean, that's where I'm at. Fully automated, gay space... No, it isn't. Well, my true ideology isn't on here. Fully automated luxury gay space capitalism... Or, capitalism communism! Oh no, I've been outed. Fully automated luxury gay space communism is truly the one and only ideology, and I'm not seeing it on here? Shame. Shame, shame, shame. Internationalism on a smaller scale rather than patriotism proper. Again, as somebody outside of that cultural sphere, and as a, nationality that regularly ruins solidarity in South and Central America, it doesn't really feel like it's appropriate for me to comment. Yeah, that's my ideology. Fully automated gay space communism is my ideology. Communalism, a principle of political organization based on federated communes. The political philosophy and economic system, it integrates communal ownership and confederations of highly localized independent communities. It seems very libertarian socialist. Defined communalism he developed as a theory of government or system of government in which independent communes participate in a federation. Principles and practice of community. There seems to be nothing wrong with this. This is sitting at B for now. Even an A, even, like, you know what? Yeah, this seems fine. I don't really like communes, personally. I like a little bit more structure than that, so I don't know. I mean, I guess I have the anarchists on it. You know what, anarchists, move it down to B. You're good with me, but, like, I like more structured society. Yeah, Marx. Yeah, right. Communalism was really popular. Some forms of communalism were popular in the United States, but they always failed. Primitive communalism and utopian socialism particularly never really took off because they weren't inherently revolutionary. What they advocated for, and a lot of people today are guilty of this same sort of mentality, a lot of anarchists particularly are communalists and don't know it. They just want to separate from society, have a commune out in the middle of nowhere, and make their own society, just be left alone. But if you are removing yourself from the international or national or local or state level politics or regional level politics, you aren't impacting it, and it's no longer really revolutionary in my worldview. Yeah, sorry, Amy, I am calling you out a little bit. You just want to farm. Yeah, I know, and a lot of people do, but, like, I think that it's a major execution of privilege, wealth, and social position to be able to do that in the first place, and the act of removing your privilege, wealth, and revolutionary capability and capacity and power from people who can't do that same sort of thing is sort of selfish. And I'm not saying everyone should suffer, but also, like, there's not a lot of solidarity in communalism, which is where a lot of my issues come with it. The more I talk about it, the lower it gets on the list, so I need to quit talking about it. Chavism is directly tied to a concept of patria grande, a fully confederated Latin America to rival and resist first world influence. I mean, I love it, but again, like, as a gringo, not my place to talk about it. I just want to teach kids English, eat hot chip, and be bisexual. No lie, you eat hot chip, but no lie. Council communism. Council communism. Council communism is a current of communist thought that emerged in the 1920s. Inspired by the November Revolution, council communism was opposed to state socialism, advocated workers' councils, and council democracy. This is very similar to syndicalism. You get a B. Yep. Yeah, rather than having state structures, you have a lot of local structures that all interface with one another. It's interesting. I have no hot chip, so that's how you can tell I'm telling the truth. De-Leonism. Marxist De-Leonism is a libertarian Marxist current developed by American activist Daniel De Leon. De Leon was an early leader of the first United States political party, Socialist Political Party, Socialist Labor Party of America, SLP. De Leon introduced the concept of a socialist industrial unionism. According to De Leonist theory, okay, your last name sucks. Can we agree on this? Any, like, Marxism, Leonism, but De Leonism, it's one too many syllables. Militant industrial unions are the vehicle of class struggle. Industrial unions serving the interests of the proletariat would be the needed Republican structure used to establish a socialist system. This is sounding very syndicalist to me. Wait, this seems based? What is unbased about this? While sharing characteristics of Anarcho-Syndicalism, okay, yeah, with the SLP being a member of the predominantly Anarcho-Syndicalist IWW, DeLone differs in that its main proponent, the modern SLP, still believe in the necessity of a political party advocating a constitutional amendment making the union of government and industry. Oh, central government would coordinate production, the party would cease to exist, as would the political state, and that was its goal. No vanguard is elitist or... Vanguard elitists are not provided a base in Marxist de-Leonism to scuttle the Republic. This seems great. It seems great. It's not my ideology, but, like, it's very close. Now, if Big Alex out of focus, let's see. Large Alex, I am out of focus. That's a little better, huh? De-Leonism is the only good thing to ever come out of Gringolandka, and therefore deserves an S tier. It's very close to my own ideology. Yeah, okay, I'm curious about this idea of... Okay, you know what, let's keep reading about this. Workers would simultaneously form socialist industrial unions in workplaces and a socialist political party, which would organize in the political realm. Upon achieving sufficient support for victory at the polls, a political party would be voted into office. Giving the program a mandate from the people, it's assumed that at that point socialist industrial unions would have attained sufficient strength in workplaces there to take control of the means of production. This seems really great. Like, really, really great. The Leonist victory at the polls would be accompanied by a transfer of control of the factories, mines, farms, and other means of production to worker councils organized within the industrial unions. Can I make an S tier? This is great. Again, fully automated gay space communism is where I'm at, but like this is up there, baby. This is really up there. I like this because it's not just syndicalism. It's not just like taking control through political processes. It's like, hey, what if we just try everything all at once and just push through support and help out other forms of revolution? Yeah, that seems really good. Okay, I'm gonna scroll down to critiques. There are no critiques. Of course not. It's perfect. It's not perfect, I'm sure. Workers would elect representatives to a central congress called the All-Industrial Congress, which would function as a national government. Existing government would be replaced by an elected form within socialist industrial unions. This seems great. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's just missing the gay space part. It really is. Okay, democratic confederationalism. Democratic confederationalism. Thank God Google's listening to me is auto-correcting. Thanks, Big Daddy. Oh, God. This is going to take a while to read. Democratic confederalization. Confederalism. I'm like, confederalizationism? That's too long. Or Kurdish communism, or Apoism, is a political concept theorized by the PKK, Kurdish Workers' Party leader Abdullah Öcalan, about a system of self-organization with features of confederation based on principles of autonomy, direct democracy, environmentalism, feminism, multiculturalism, self-defense, self-governance, and elements of shared economy. I really don't know enough about this, but seems great, seems fine. But also, like, the fact that it's organized around Kurdish values and Kurdish, like, experiences and their particular material circumstances makes it so that, again, as a white person in America, I'm really seeing it as an outsider. Sounds great. Influenced by social ecology, libertarian municipalism, Middle Eastern history, nationalism. See, they're not, but the Kurds in their nationalism is, you know, fueled by centuries of mistreatment. So I can't I can't dunk on it too much. Assalan presents the concept as a political solution to Kurdish national aspirations, as well as other fundamental problems in the region, deeply rooted in class society, and as a route to freedom democratization for people around the world. Seems fine. Seems good. Listen, there's a lot more to this, but I'm not going to spend that long on all of these. I've already been recording longer. 25 minutes, Jesus Christ! Buckle up, we're in for at least an hour. Democratic socialism. You know what? I'm reading enough to make this, like, vaguely edutainment. Dem socialism is a political philosophy of supporting political democracy within a socially owned economy. Particular emphasis on economic democracy, workplace democracy, and worker self-management within a market socialist economy, some sort of decentralized planned socialist economy. It's fine. It's fine. Why do I say it's fine? I'm a member of the DSA, and I'm saying it's fine. Why is it only fine? Because it exists within capitalism. And wants to reform it just through political means, through purely political means. It's reformist, and it's fine. It's just, it's okay. You know, honestly, move you up. Chavismo, I'm feeling like if I'm giving the Kurds a B, I should give you a B. You know what? Fine.
It doesn't matter how much you
Fine.
know about implementation.
No, get out of here with your VO. We don't do VO here. It's the best we can do. We can do better, but it's the best we're willing to do. Dangism? Oh boy. We're reading about Dang, baby. Deng Xiaoping theory. Deng Xiaoping theory, or Dangism. Deng Xiaoping, basically brought capitalism to China, to the Maoist system there, is a series of political and economic ideologies first developed by Chinese leader Deng Xiaoping. Theory does not claim to reject Marxist Leninism or Maoism, but instead seeks to adapt them to the existing socio-economic conditions of China. Deng stressed that opening China to the outside world, the implementation of one country, two systems, and through the phrase seek truth from facts, an advocation of political and economic pragmatism. Again, as a foreigner, I'm like, man, this really isn't my place. It seems problematic. This is problematic here. You know what? Yeah. This seems like potentially problematic here. This is bad. This is fuck you. Like, this is you should rethink life. This is, I really have some misgivings. And Baathism, yeah. Baathism, the reason it's here are the religious aspects and the ways that it's played out historically, like the dictatorial powers that have come into place, and like, yeah, I don't know, there might be some bias there. Maoism with Chinese characteristics. Deng Xiaoping is a complicated fucking figure. No, the rule is, Alex, nationalism only stops being based when it's about creating imperialist regimes rather than seceding from them. I guess that's a good rule, but, like, China's very complicated in that respect, right? It was seceding from imperialist regimes. Germany, United Kingdom, United States, France, Portugal, Japan, even the Soviet Union, with respect to Mao breaking with the Soviets. But then it's kind of become an imperialist power, and it sort of always was. So, like, F tier, I will find you and I will punch you. Yeah. So, yeah, Deng Xiaoping is fucking complicated, and I don't know enough about the minutia of internal Chinese politics in the transition from Maoism was really problematic too, and we'll get into that when we get into the M's. So I don't know. Mao was right about landlords, though. He was base until he wasn't, basically. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Eco-anarchism. Oh boy. Green anarchism is an anarchist school of thought that puts a particular emphasis on environmental issues. You know what? Fine. You go with the rest of the anarchists. Just go sit with them. A green anarchist theory is normally one that extends anarchism beyond a critique of human interactions and includes a critique of interactions between humans and non-humans as well. Seems fine. Honestly, don't care that much about it, but seems fine. Egoism. Man, I've been meaning to read about egoism for the longest time. Basidry can fluctuate over space and time. Egoism is a political philosophy. No, is a philosophy concerned with the role of the self or the ego as a motivation or goals of one's own actions. Different theories on egoism encompass a range of disparate ideas and can generally be categorized into descriptive or normative forms. That is, they may be interested in either describing that people do act in self-interest or prescribing that they should. Other forms of egoism, yada yada yada. It's philosophy. I don't care about natural or existential philosophy. I really don't. Egoism ties in with political theory. Okay, egoist philosopher Nikolai Chernyshevsky was the dominant and intellectual figure from 1860 to 1817. 1917 revolutionary movement in China, which resulted in the assassination of Tsar Alexander II 8 years before his death. Dmitry was singularly radical influence within the movement, though he did not personally advocate political revolution. Okay, guess you get a C. But there's also ties between fascism and egoism. The philosophies of Nietzsche and Steimer were heavily appropriated by fascist and proto-fascist ideologies. I think egoism is not a political thing. I think it has political populist implications, but it can be used for all kinds of means. Yeah, Ayn Rand was an egoist. Egoism, it's nothing. It's nothing. Egoism is people acting in self-enlightened or enlightened self-interest, which is okay. It's fine, but to me, that's not a leftist. That's not an ideology. That's not an ideology at all. It's a political philosophy. No, it's a god damn it. It's a philosophy. It's an existential philosophy, but it's not a political philosophy. Euro-communism. Why is this differentiated? Euro-communism, referred to as democratic communism or neo-communism, I love that, was a revisionist trend in the 1970s and 80s within various Western communist parties, which said they developed a theory and practice of social transformation more relevant for Western Europe. They sought to undermine the influence of the Soviet Union and CCCP, and it was especially prominent in Italy, Spain, and France. Okay, so how's it different? How's it different? How's it different? How's it different? It's alleged by critics that Euro-communists showed a lack of courage in sufficiently and definitively breaking off from the Soviet Union. This timidity has been explained as fear for losing old members and supporters. Dude, I don't give a shit. Welcome to the C tier. Welcome to the C tier. Yeah, there's so many different kinds of communism. Gender accelerationism. All right. All right, what do we got here? This has got to be a meme. This has got to be a fucking meme. Just with a name like that. Manifesto about the slow death of gender and trans and queer liberation through accelerating this process. This is some of the most inside baseball shit I've ever heard of. how is it out accelerationist? Like, okay, accelerationism within the confines of capitalism into socialism, communism, anarchism makes sense, right? Because Marxist theory holds that and identifies all these ways that capitalism is ultimately self-sabotaging. Accelerationism is feeding into those self-sabotaging feedback loops in order to cause its demise, its eventual demise, faster, right? Accelerationism. Gender accelerationism implies the same sort of self-destructive feedback loop in gender conceptualizations, but there's no inherent theory there. I think gender accelerationism is taking this word, accelerationism, and being like, yeah, I like how that sounds. I like the notion of that. Let's make it about gender. But that's removing it. Oh god, this is such a queer thing, and I hate it. This is such a take two things, mash them together, even though it removes them both from their individual contexts. Does it mean that trad femmes are sleeper agents? Gender dies through eating its own tail. Does it? Like, I'm open to these arguments, but this seems... Help me out here. Gender accelerationism is an ideology that accelerates gender to the point where gender is no longer a political issue. That's not what I just read. That is to the point where somebody can freely and safely come out as trans without having to worry about being stoned to death or being made fun of by conservatives. They believe that getting rid of the idea of gender itself, LGBTQ will be able to completely live without any form of discrimination whatsoever. I think you misunderstand what accelerationism is. Like, okay, seems fine. I don't... Yeah, premarital handholder. Is this like beating women and minorities to bring about a communist utopia? That's what accelerationism is. So, like, this seems like a really misguided attempt at labeling something. This seems like someone who doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about writing a book is what, like, and I'm kind of uncomfortable saying that. I don't know anything about Vicky Storm, Emma Flores, or Lila Monster, but this book was published in April 23rd of 2019, and this just seems really... Okay. Best place to start is social system is its material base. Okay, you're starting out Marxist here. Material reasons that produce social system provide us with backgrounds. Yeah. Okay, where does gender's material base lie? Gender is division of reproductive labor. I think fundamentally, maybe? Reproductive labor is any labor that helps produce the next generation. Gender is defined by how this labor is divided up, with different genders, different classes, who are expected to perform different sets of tasks regarding reproductive labor. Okay. Okay, what do you want? A thesis statement is a great way to start a book, and you did not do it. I mean, death to gender, freedom to the queers. Drop them down a tier for pedantic misuse of words. That's really where I'm at. But they are trying to use materialist language, so maybe I'm misreading what's going on here. I'm seizing the means of production. Is that what I'm gonna say next time I proposition my partner when I engage in some reproductive labor? Well, it's only reproductive labor if you intend to reproduce, right? I think, okay, I'll say it. I think it's really problematic tying gender to reproduction. This is some turfy shit, right? Right? Like this foundation seems very turfy to me in its conceptualization, and supposedly this is very trans right, very queer, but like Gender, someone who can't have a baby. Doesn't mean that they're not a man, or doesn't mean that they're not a woman. Someone who, this seems like really well-intentioned but misguided amalgamation of ideologies baked in a way that's not done. This needs some serious peer review. Is there any way, suggestion like non-binary or gender erasure language to counteract the very real turfy vibes? I mean, maybe. I don't want to read this, if I'm being honest with you. We cannot stop. Okay, gender means the domination of all and sustained violence against women and queer people. Okay, true. We cannot allow for our defeat, and ours must be upon victory. Gender won't go down without a fight. Yeah. Pink terror. Oh boy. Patriarchal behavior is an act of violence. Sure. Like historically, yeah. Dictatorship of the queer. Oh my god. No. You can't. It's not a political philosophy. It's like a social political philosophy, but this isn't a leftist ideology. Oh god. It is progressive in terms of like identity politics, which are really important. And like materially, I get their kind of arguments for trying to talk about reproduction and roles of individuals based on their relationship to reproduction. I think there's a really interesting nuanced conversation to be had there. But borrowing language from Marxism particularly, materialism particularly, which is about economic critique, I think is a misservice to what they're trying to communicate there. Yeah, this is sounding like very ambitious but not very well organized students. Like, I'm really hemming and hawing here. You know what? It gets a C. It seems like your heart's in the right place, but also calling that an ideology is being generous. Trotskyism is a variant of anti-revisionist Marxist Leninism developed in the 1970s due to a split in the Maoist movement, appearing as an ideological dispute between the Communist Party of China and the Labour Party of Albania. Demarcates itself by a strict defense of the legacy of Joseph Stalin. The Organization of Soviet Union under Stalinism, fierce criticism of all other communist groupings as revisionist. F tier. No. Stalinism bad. Actually, state dictatorship, bad. Bad. Nope. 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 Egoism is a tendency of anarchism that primarily developed in France, Italy, Belgium, and Switzerland by the early 1900s as an outgrowth of individualist anarchism. And Egoists embrace criminality, either openly or secretly, as a lifestyle. Seems based. It does not specify the type of crime, though it's associated with theft and shoplifting. Honestly, you're a better kind of anarchist. I'll say it. These anarchists aren't afraid of going to jail. These anarchists dream of a better world and like really want to get rid of the system. But this is like closer to militant anarchism, and somehow I respect it more. So you get an A tier. Hot take: tier between egoism and anarcho-primitivisms and prims for all the Stalinist ideologies, because prims are just that bad. Yeah. Listen, the Stalinists want a dictatorship, but at least they want they want technology which saves lives. Insurrectionary anarchism is a revolutionary theory and tendency within anarchist movements that emphasizes insurrection as a revolutionary practice. It is critical of formal organizations such as labor unions and federations that are based on political program and periodic congresses. Instead, insurrectionary anarchists advocate informal organization, a small affinity group-based organization. This is where you start losing me. Insurrectional anarchists put value on attack, permanent class conflict, and a refusal to negotiate or compromise with class enemies. Listen. Hold up. Don't grab the wrong thing, Alex. Seems fine. Is it for me? No, because I think that these two things need to happen simultaneously for real success to be made. But I would not disown insurrectionary anarchists. I'd be like, cool, dog, you do that. I don't really believe in what you're doing, but you do what you do. Intersectionality. Intersectionality isn't a leftist political ideology. I want to fight the person who made this fucking tier list. Intersectionality is an analytical framework. Not a philosophy, not a political ideology. Egoism is a philosophy, it's not a political ideology. Even gender accelerationism seems like social political ideology, but it's not a political ideology. I want to fight you. Intersectionality, so this just means that leftist unity is working. If I want to fight the leftists who made this, it means it's about right. If leftists aren't turning on each other, something's gone wrong. Yeah, intersectionality is just like baseline decency. Yeah. Intersectionality is an analytical framework for understanding how persons' social and political identities combine to create different modes of discrimination and privilege. Examples of these are gender, caste, race, sex, class, sexuality, religion, disability, physical appearance, and height. Intersectionality, height, really. You put height but not weight. You put physical appearance and height. Okay, I mean, why not just say, like, physical qualities instead? I'm not digging into that. I'm not gonna argue with whoever wrote this Wikipedia article. Intersectionality identifies multiple factors of advantage and disadvantage. These intersecting and overlapping social identities may be both empowering and oppressing. For example, this is just a thing. This is just a thing. It's my ideology because it's just a fact. Thick thigh erasure? Not when I'm around. Not when I'm around. not with me, baby. Juche. Subject is usually left untranslated, or translated as self-reliance. It's the official ideology of North Korea, described by the government as Kim Il-sung's original, brilliant, and revolutionary contribution to national and international thoughts. Lest you think I'm just being American with putting these down here and these up here. Yeah, maybe some of my nationalism and opinion of different nations is showing through a little bit, because I recognize there's like degrees of hypocrisy in rating these differently. Okay, let's Kim Il-sung. What are the concepts? 10 principles for establishment of a monolithic ideological system. I mean, this plays into the Soviet idea of like a monolith there. You know what? I'll say it. It's too Soviet for me. I'll say it's bad. Is it like anarcho-primitivist bad? No. Can I? Oh my god, I can. D-. Make it a gray. Add a row above. Perfect. Shit, Alex, you went and effed it up. All right, F. D-. All right, sweet. I can get more levels of minutia in here. Oh, hell yeah. This wouldn't be true leftist engagement with something if we didn't make it needlessly more complicated, right? Add a row above. This... No, caps lock, cruise control for cool isn't an ideology. And then I'm gonna... This isn't an ideology. Okay, sweet. Okay, I can just like yeet some stuff out of here. Oh, I love it. Europhobia confirmed. You got me. So okay, D tier, So I'm gonna move all of these to C tier, D tier. They're too nationalist. Honestly, you go down to D minus tier. Accelerationism. D or D minus. I think this is really misguided. It's not revolutionary. It's trying to prompt other people to be revolutionary. So you know what? It's that bad, sure. Hell yeah. Okay, I like the levels of minutia that we've gotten here, because there are too many fucking options. Listen. Is it anarcho-primitivist bad? No. Is it left accelerationism? What the fuck is left accelerationism? Yeah, I know what accelerationism. God damn it, leftists learned a new word and then they just started using it everywhere. Isn't this just accelerationist? Wait, accelerationism is the idea that capitalism and technological change should be accelerated. Left-wing accelerationism attempts to press the process of technological evolution beyond the constrictive horizon of capitalism by repurposing modern technology for socially beneficial and emancipatory ends. Right-wing accelerationists support the indefinite intensification of capitalism itself, possibly to bring about technological singularity. You seem fine. You keep using that word. I don't think you know what that word means. I like this until we downgraded Chavez. I love Chavez. But I don't like some of the shit that Chavez did. Chavez, just like Deng Xiaoping, integrated capitalist market capabilities and capacities into his system. The fact that Chavez did not share power more readily as president, and his degree of authoritarianism puts me off. It's not inherent in Chavismo, but the inherent nationalist or not internationalist kind of guiding virtue of the ideology is, in my mind, problematic. In fact, you know what? Eurocommunism? We'll move that down here too, because Eurocommunism was just trying to break with the Soviets to try to differentiate themselves in a needlessly pedantic, not at all useful kind of way. Rename D tier to Uncultured Gringo is confused. Uncultured Gringo is very sure about a couple of things. I'll move Chavez down. I'll do it. I wouldn't do that to Chavez. Wait, D tier is, you know what, probably an unfair thing to call this. You know what? Will this make you feel better about it? It's not a D tier anymore, it's a C tier. They have the exact same place on the hierarchy. What we've rebranded it so that D is this. And you know what? Honestly, oh no. Isn't needlessly pedantic the most leftist thing? Yes. Alright, there we go. There we go. Perfect. There's no problems here. Okay. We were talking about accelerate. This has gotten so fucking big it doesn't fit on the screen anymore. I hope you're happy. We've really started going out, making this perfect. You sneaky marketeer. I don't know what you're talking about. We're just trying to make everyone happy. Alright, Leninism is a political ideology developed by Russian Marxist revolutionary Vladimir Lenin. Yanovich proposes the establishment of a dictatorship by the proletariat led by a revolutionary vanguard party as a prelude to establishment of communism. Hey, D. Anything advocating for a dictatorship of anything, I'm very mistrustful of. And looking at the way that Stalin-Leninist theory played out, it's staying in D territory. I like the idea, I really do, of like, oh, you know, we gotta take power and then once we're in power, we'll give it up. History suggests that's not what happens. That's really not what happens. That power does not give up power. So it's D tier. I think a key concept here. this, and this espouse some sort of democratic power structure. This, and this do not necessarily advocate for democratic power structure. It is more state capitalist, this is more state socialist. Just get rid of the upper this isn't an ideology. Fine, God, nothing's perfect, it's just constant revisionism. Mao would love this. Constant revolution, baby. Lesbian separatism. Oh boy. I don't want to read about this. Lesbian separatism. Separatist lesbianism is a type of feminist separatism specific to lesbians. Many lesbian separatists bought land so they could live separately from men and heterosexual women. Radical lesbianism and other similar movements represent a rupture with the broader feminist movements. They offer an attempt by some feminists and lesbians to try to reconcile what they see as inherent conflicts with the stated goals of feminism. Many of these conflicts and ruptures are the result of issues arising from broader and nationally specific cultural narratives around women. Some of them are... This seems turfy. I don't know why, but this seems turfy. How is this not turfy? This just seems like, if the Wikipedia article says, see also radical lesbianism, queer nationalism, and lesbian feminism, I'm like, you're getting some, to be fair to Uncle Lenin, Stalinism is just Stalinism, true. It's the second time that phrase has made me laugh out loud. $5 says this is turfy. Is a bi woman, lesbian, separatists are scum and can eat shit. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. But they're not as bad as anarcho-primitives. Anarcho-primitives, like premarital handholder said earlier, the real problem is inherent in this ideology. They believe that anyone isn't... This is like insanely, oh my god, eugenicist. Insanely eugenicist. Isn't there just a genderless, polyamorous, bonobo futurist party? That's fully automated, gay, luxury, space communism. I'm telling you. We're gonna look at that one last, because it's the best ideology, and the fact that it isn't on here, really just leftist erasure. I think they left it out because the exposure to the idea just is too... I don't even want to read about this. I don't even want to read about this. I'm gonna do it, but liberation theology? Liberation theology. Teologica de la Liberación is a synthesis of Christian theology and socioeconomic analyses that emphasizes social concern for the poor and political liberation for oppressed peoples. God, I thought I was gonna sit there and not sneeze. Beginning in the 1960s after the Second Vatican Council, liberation theory became political praxis of Latin American theologians such as Gustavo Gutierrez, Leonardo Wolff, and Jesuits Juan Luis II and Juan Sobrino, who popularized the phrase preferential option for the poor. Wait, is this not bad? Is this, like, not actually trash? So, de facto above and prim, de jure iffy, the theology part. Separatist lesbians would probably genocide all non-lesbians if given the option. This seems fine, but I don't know anything about what its actual theory is. This is like C tier? Yeah, I'm feeling like C tier for this, but it's so vague and non-specific I don't know what it means. Liberation theology could be interpreted as a attempt to return the gospel to early church where Christianity is politically and culturally decentralized. Proposes to fight poverty by addressing its alleged source, the sin of greed. You're so close to being a good Christian communist. In so doing, it explores a relationship between Christian theology and political activism. I like this. This gets a thumbs up. Sure. Sure. I don't... Am I gonna do Lenin so dirty that I'm gonna put this above? I'm sorry, Lenin. I'm sorry. Don't look. Lenin, don't look. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Look away, Lenin. Libertarian socialism is literally a word for anarcho-socialism. Why didn't you just put anarcho-socialism? You put anarcho-syndicalism, anarcho-communism, but for this, ooh, let's call it libertarian socialism to try to fuck people up. It's literally the same thing. It's fine. Is it based or is it fine? I think it's fine. Wait. Let's get in the minutia. Political philosophy within the socialist movement, which rejects state socialist conceptualization of socialism as a statist form where the state retains centralized control of the economy. Overlapping with anarchism and libertarianism, libertarian socialists criticize wage slavery within a workplace, emphasizing worker self-management, decentralized structures of political organization. As a broad socialist tradition, a movement, libertarian socialism includes anarchist, Marxist, and anarchist or Marxist-inspired thought. Weird parenthetical, and other left libertarian tendencies. Anarchism and libertarian Marxism are the main currents of libertarian socialism. Libertarian socialism generally rejects the concept of a state, asserts that a society based on freedom and justice can only be achieved with the abolition of authoritarian institutions that control certain means of production and subordinate the majority to an owning class of political and economic elite. Libertarian socialists advocate for decentralized structures based on direct democracy and federal confederated associations such as citizen popular assemblies, cooperatives, libertarian municipalism, trade unions, and worker councils. This is the most mean-nothing, vague ideology. So many of these things fit. Libertarian socialism is distinguished from authoritarian and vanguardist approach of Bolshevism, Leninism, and the reformist, Fabinist social democracy. Yeah, so it's okay. You know what? It's a B tier. You need that 74% tier. No more tiers. No more tiers. We have too many fucking tiers. Marxism, but like no dictatorship of the proletariat. Listen, Marxism, but no... For me, Marxism, the defining quality of Marxism isn't the dictatorship of the proletarianism. It's the emphasis. I'm throwing an ism after every fucking word because I've read ism so many goddamn times. Marxism, for me, is about the material dialectic that it talks about. Its basis in materialism and its basis in the philosophical dialectic. That's the root of Marxism for me. But, you know, we'll read about that. Luxemburgism. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Rosa time. It's not about... Shouldn't this be... Oh, did I... Sure. You know what? Rosa Luxemburg. Luxemburg professed a commitment to democracy and necessity of revolution. Luxemburg's idea of democracy... She's a socialdem. She's just a dem-soc. What? Yeah, it insisted on socialist democracy. She attacked undemocratic tendencies present in the revolution. She's a socialdem. I'm not getting more into this. She's a socialdem. She's like the social democrat. I'm an anarcho-communist, bi-authoritarian, radical thickerist. If you're not a thickerist, you're wrong. This is mightism, becomingism, issuism. Yeah. My mind is melting. This was supposed to be fun. I came out here to have a good time in the meme, and instead of isms. Maoism, or Mao Zedong thought, is a variety of Marxist Leninism that Mao Zedong developed for releasing realizing the socialist revolution, the agricultural pre-industrial society of the Republic of China, and later the People's Republic of China. Philosophical difference between Maoism and Marxist Leninism is that the peasantry are the revolutionary vanguard in pre-industrial society rather than the proletariat. This updating and adaptation of Marxist Leninism to Chinese conditions, in which revolutionary practice is primary and ideological orthodoxy is secondary, represents urban Marxist Leninism adapted to pre-industrial China. The claim that Mao Zedong had adapted Marxism-Leninism to Chinese conditions evolved to the idea that he had updated it in the fundamental way, applying to the world as a whole. From the 1950s until the Chinese economic reforms of Deng Xiaoping in the late 1970s, Maoism was a political and military ideology of the Communist Party of China and Maoist revolutionary movements throughout the world. After the Sino-Soviet split in the 1960s, the Communist Party of China and the Communist Party of the Soviet Union each claimed to be the sole heir and successor to Joseph Stalin concerning the correct interpretation of Marxist-Leninism and the ideological leader of world communism. In the late 1970s, Peruvian Communist Party's Shining Path developed and synthesized Maoism into Marxist-Leninism. Maoism, a contemporary variety of Marxist-Leninism that's supposed higher level of Marxist-Leninism, can be applied universally. D. Get out of here with these words. I asked for no words and they keep giving me words. D. Why is it D tier? Again, the emphasis on a dictatorial state as a transitionary form of revolution. That's my main sticking point here. Mao did some great work with the landlords, just like truly applause-worthy work. Mao was a pretty good writer too. Unlike Marx, Mao was like a really articulate writer and a great speaker. Marx was a fucking terrible writer. I like Mao. I like Mao a lot. So authoritarianism bad. No. D. I'm giving it the D tier. I'm sorry. Don't look at me. I'm ashamed. I'm doing Lenin and Mao dirty and it feels bad. Marxism, Leninism, Maoism. Listen, we just read about that. It's the same thing, but even more pedantic. Marxism. This is a really important thing about Marxism. It's not a fucking ideology. Marxism is a method of socioeconomic analysis that uses a materialist interpretation of historical development, better known as historical materialism, to understand class relations and social conflict, as well as a dialectical perspective to view social transformation. It originates from the work of 19th century philosophers Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. As Marxism has developed into various branches of schools of thought, there is no single definitive Marxist theory. Wait, you know what? I'm an intersectionalist Marxist de-Leonist. And I don't care who knows it. Marxist humanism. I hold that Marxism is not a political ideology. That it's just a lens. And Marx only ever wrote Das Kapital as a lens. As a way to instruct people's worldview or as a tool critique. His initial outset goal was not, I'm gonna start a fucking revolution or I'm gonna change politics. It was just him being a fucking nerd. Marxist humanism is an international body of thought and political action rooted in interpretation of the works of Karl Marx, an investigation of what human nature consists of and what sort of society would be most conducive to human thriving from a critical perspective rooted in Marxist philosophy. Marxist humanists argue Marx himself was concerned in investigating similar questions. Kinda. I mean, he was mostly just an economics nerd, though. There's continuity between, okay, like, why do I give a shit about this? Contrary to the official dialectic materialism of the Soviet Union and interpretations of Marx rooted in structural Marxism of Louis Althusser, Marxist humanists argue Marx's work was an extension or transcendence of Enlightenment humanism. Where other Marxist philosophies see Marxism as a natural science, yeah, I kinda do. Marxist humanists reaffirm the doctrine of man as immeasurable things. Humans are essentially different to the rest of the natural order and should be treated as such by Marxist theory. Did people even think this anymore? Is this contemporary? This isn't contemporary, right? This seems so antiquated. This is like somebody's like, what do you think of this pre-Marxist communalism? Like, it seems rude. I want to dunk on it. Yeah. Highly respect you for calling out Marxism as a non-ideology, but if I accept that, I don't get to call myself a pragmatic Marxist. Yeah, you do. You do. Because just in the way you can be like, I'm an analyst. You use analysis to understand the world around you. You're an analyst. Being an analyst does not make you a political ideology. Marx is the same way. Like, being a Marxist is just... It's just like a degree of, it's just a socioeconomic school of thought. Not even a political school of thought. And like calling it a school of thoughts, this is how you know I'm a fucking Marxist, because I'm getting indignant about what it means or doesn't mean. Marxist humanism? Dude, I don't know. Seems like fine but misguided, with that emphasis on humans as being man as measurable things. I kind of fundamentally agree with that, but that wasn't what Marx was about. And so the fact that this is like an ideological offbreak of that, like, you know, it seems fine, but Marx was a nerd, and you know what? I'll give you a C+. I'll give you a C+. Because you're on your way to being right. And National Bolshevikism. I don't really need to get into this, right? I mean, I'm gonna read the... Isn't it just National Bolshevism? Yeah, it's National Bolshevism, not Bolshevikism. Clueless Americans made this. National Bolshevism is a political movement that combines elements of fascism and Bolshevism. Wait, what? Hold up. I've been had. I thought there was something iffy about the word national in there. Notable proponents of National Bolshevism in Germany included Ernst Niekisch, Heinrich Laufenberg, and Karl Otto Pietl. Okay, I must read more about this. Go on. It was a term used to describe a current in the Communist Party of Germany, then the Workers' Party, which wanted to ally with the insurgent communist movement with dissident nationalists in the German army who rejected the Treaty of Versailles. It's Twitter. It's Twitter for the last month. Oh my god. Right, okay. That's why I know about this. This is Twitter for the last month. This is people being, Who's that piece of shit, white, ignorant podcaster who people think is, like, really based in leftist? And I'm describing, like, all of them, right? But, recently had a thing about the Boogaloo Boys, and, like, oh, Boogaloo Boys seem, like, pretty progressive. They're, like, why don't Antifa get it? No, not Joe Rogan. It's even more inside baseball than that. I don't need to name him. Same guy who was like, oh, we need to force the vote. Jimmy Dore. Huge piece of shit. Completely clueless asshole, really just like a capitalist. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. He basically advocates for National Bolshevism, that the leftist movements and fascist movements in our country need to unite against the center. And you know what happens? You know how this ended? The fascists killed all of the socialists. This doesn't end well. So F tier. Is it as bad as anarcho-primitivism? No, it's just stupid. So D- tier. It's stupid and misguided. We need to get white men off the radio. That's what I'm saying. Neo-Zapatismo. Why is Zapatismo spelled with an X here? Is that an X or is that a Z? That's a Z. God, the font artifacting was terrible there. On my screen, that looks like an X because of the artifacting. Bad font choice, dude. Bad font choice. Neo-Zapatismo is a political philosophy and practice devised and employed by Mexico's Zapatista Army of National Liberation, aka the Neo-Zapatistas or Zapatistas, who govern a large territory in Chiapas and have done so since the beginning of the Chiapas conflict. Crucially, it is not an ideology! These motherfuckers keep putting things in here that aren't ideologies. As Zapatismo's clandestine revolutionary indigenous general command has made it clear, Zapatismo is not a new political ideology or rehash of old ideologies. There are no universal recipes, lines, strategies, tactics, laws, rules, or slogans. There's only a desire to build a better world. That is a new world. I can't put this in premarital handholder holds hands with so many people. This is gross. Hand holding outside of marriage? Yeah, Amy's right. Sinful. Very naughty. Okay. Like, I think Zapatists are like B tier or A tier. But the fact that it's not an ideology pisses me off, that they're like, rank leftist ideologies. It's not an ideology. It's not an ideology. If the people themselves are saying we are not an ideology, we are like a way of life, we are a mission, we are like a thought, like a shared desired, then it's not an ideology. But also, like, I can see why using limited language, we would call it an ideology. Anarcho-Slutism. I'm a fan. I am a fan. Pol Potism. Oh, God. Oh, God. Pol Pot was a Cambodian revolutionary and politician who governed Cambodia as prime minister. Can we just get to your philosophy, please? Please. Or Chimerugism is a totalitarian, far-left, socially conservative, ethno-ultra-nationalist, anti-intellectual, and highly genocidal ideology, inhabiting the top left of the political compass. Top left corner of the political compass? I don't think it'd be in the top left corner. This is on Pol Comp Ball fandom. They are wrong. This whole meme fandom is center right or alt right meme, so you gotta take their ignorance to the left. This one is letter home to parents tier. Yeah, seriously, like this is this child is troubled. This is a very troubled child tier. Just shove it into the genocide tier. Yeah, this one's F tier. Yep. Yeah, he killed a quarter of Cambodia. Stalin couldn't even dream of those numbers. Oh dear. Post-Civ. What the fuck is post-Civ? You know what? No. It's a synthesis between these two, I think. Rewilding? Oh my god. Have anarchists gone too far? Post-Civ is supposed to be more pragmatic, an anti-ideological position developed from anarcho-primitivist theory. Quintessential statement is post-Civ would be like, scavenge the ruins of civilization. No, it's fucking stupid. These are white kid ideologies. I'll say it. These are white kid, California, middle upper class, white kid anarchist ideologies. I said it. I'll say it again. Situationism. What the fuck is situationism? Theory that human behavior is determined by surrounding circumstances rather than personal qualities. This is just the opposite of egoism. No. This is not an ideology. Fuck, this is a school of psychology. Letter to your parents. Social democracy. Democratic socialism. I'm gonna fucking lose it. This is the same fucking thing. This is the same fucking thing. Social democracy is a political, social, and economic philosophy within socialism that supports political and economic democracy. As a political regime, it's described by academics as advocating economic and social interventions to promote social justice within a framework of a liberal democratic polity and a capitalist-oriented mixed economy. The protocols and norms used to accomplish this, it's okay, you know what? Social democracy originated as a political ideology that advocated an evolutionary and peaceful transition from capitalism to socialism. I think it's really admirable. Do I think that you can reform your way out of capitalism? No, but I applaud people who are trying. Do I think it'll work? No, I'm a pessimist. I think some sort of violence, some sort of real meeting power with power kind of revolution is necessary for a transition away from capitalism. But I'm definitely not going to be like, Sosh Dems, F tier, they're garbage. I'm not an edgelord. I'm not a fucking edgelord. I think good people doing good work, trying to make the world a better place for other people, even if they're not doing it with just the same way I have anarchists and autonomists up here. I think it's like inherently in the right trajectory. Will it get us there? No, but it's pushing us vaguely in the right direction. I wasn't paying attention to chat, I'll be honest. Then Femdom popped up and I'm like, hello, yes. What are we talking about in here, fellow teens? Central Commissariat wants you to find the differences between these two pictures. The Dems suck and suck dem. It's the same picture. Cops aren't gonna femdom themselves. No one is going to femdom cops. Cops deserve no mommy dommy. Cops deserve to be reformed. They deserve to no longer be police officers and to get the psychiatric help that they need. That's what cops deserve. I'm saying that. Yeah, they need help. That's what they need. I'm gonna take that message. We gotta save them from themselves, kids. Cops get none of the steppy. You like boot? You know, get boot. Third worldism is a political concept and ideology that arose in the late 1940s or 50s during the Cold War, tried to generate unity amongst nations that did not want to take sides. This is not a political ideology. I love that there's a little AK here, though. That's adorable. The fact that they have like a little stand-in AK, that's supposed to be yeah, that's an AK. They have a Kalashnikov, but like, oh yeah, third world. Is not a political philosophy. This is international international diplomacy. No, I refuse to engage with this. No. Titoism, god damn it. Why can't we just put all of these? I guess there's enough of a small distinction between these. Wait a minute. Wait. Stalinism isn't on here. Stalinism isn't on here. Why do I have Titoism, Maoism, Juche-Bathism, Hoxoism, but I don't have Stalinism? I have Leninism, but I don't have Stalinism? Bruh. Big bruh moment. What the fuck? You can't just have Stalinism dressed up as if it's Marxist Leninism or Leninism. Quizmaker, I just want to talk. I just want to talk. I just want to talk. Grandmommy dummy. Nope. Nope. Going back to ignoring chat. That's ageist, Alex. Okay. I guess it must be. I disengage. Titoism is a political philosophy most closely associated with Josip Broz during the Cold War, characterized by a broad Yugoslav identity, worker self-management based, political separation from the Soviet Union, and leadership in the non-aligned movement. You get a C tier. Why? Because you stepped away from the Soviets. You were a little authoritarian, though. Just a little bit, Tito. Yeah, Tito gets a C. Trotskyism is a political ideology and branch of Marxism developed by Russian revolutionary Leon Trotsky. Trotsky self-identified as an orthodox Marxist and Bolshevik Leninist. He supported the founding of a vanguard party of the proletariat, proletarian internationalism, and dictatorship of the proletariat based on working class self-emancipation, and mass democracy. Trotskyists are critical of Stalinism as they oppose Joseph Stalin's theory of socialism in one country in favor of Trotsky's theory of permanent revolution. Trotskyists, Trotsky's still in like Monka territory because he wanted to forcibly export the revolution. Trotsky didn't just want to have the USSR reach communist utopia itself. Before that work is possible, rather than spending the important time and money and resources on that, making that the emphasis, Trotsky's emphasis was on exporting the revolution to other countries. I think Trotsky might have ended up being a better premier than Stalin, all told, just because of their personal dispositions, but Trotskyism is maybe as problematic as Stalinism. Xenofeminism. Oh no. Okay, before I dig into this, which just seems sexy. I'm incapable of holding long-term relationships. At some point, even I feel too ashamed to cougar. I joke about trading my partner in for a younger model sometimes, but I'm not touching somebody younger than him again. Okay, yeah, I'm 28. I feel weird dating people who are 21. 22 is even pushing it. Age is weird. This fucks me up. There are grown-ass men, many of them, who hypersexualize 18-year-olds. And not just like 18-year-olds, but like, I just turned 18. That shit's fucked up. That shit's incredibly fucked up. It's like, it's thin veneer, just the fine line between technically legal but ethically ambiguous to abhorrent. And it's deeply, deeply troubling that for a long period of time, especially in the pornography industry in the United States, that thin line was one of the sexiest things for the average American men. That's incredibly fucked up. Age play kind of puts me off. I tend to be attracted to older women. Men around my age. Younger people, I tend to not be super attracted to as consistently. 20s, yeah, teenagers just scare me at this point. If you're not 21, I'm afraid to even look at you. Because, like, you are a baby. You are a soft, squishy, smooth-skinned little baby, and I don't trust you. Just have one night stand so I don't have to deal with adults being children. Yeah, I just don't fuck anyone unless I know that they're not going to be a child. Metaphorically, emotionally, a child. I mean, literally, too, I suppose, but The way we phrase things is problematic. Ugh, I don't want to read about a new weird xenofeminism. In an era of accelerating technology and increasing complexity, how should we reimagine emancipatory potential feminism? Okay, alright. 3-part definition for xenofeminism, grounding the ideas in techno-materialism. Alright. Anti-naturalism. Alright, and gender abolitionism. Seems based. Seems good. Elaborates these ideas in relation to assistive reproductive technologies. Yes! Okay, alright. This I like way more than gender accelerationism. Gender accelerationism is part of this critique, and it's very unimaginative, is that gender is a product of reproductive labor. I think that's old school thinking. Xenofeminism? Based. Why? Because we have the technology, and that's why fuck you anarcho-primitivists, that we can remove the association with reproductive capability from gender and sexuality altogether. That two people born with the same chromosome structure can have a child together using modern technology. That's fucking cool! That's how you deconstruct gender. That's how you make gender meaningless, is by introducing new technology that removes it. Yep, xenofeminism based. Is this literally making a planet Venus? Reject barely legal, embrace Dami Mommy. I won't say no, but I will say that I'm uncomfortable with the idea, with the phrase Dami Mommy. I use it ironically. Mutualism. Okay, I'm pretty sure. Alright, I got the biology one first. I'm like, this is confusing. Does it mean social mutualism, the positive interaction between species? Is it the economic theory associated with Pierre Joseph Proudhon? What a last name. Or the movement, social movement promoting mutual organizations? I'm assuming it's the movement. Mutualism, also known as movement of mutuals, and the mutualist movement is a social movement aims at creating and promoting mutual organizations, mutual insurances, and mutual funds. Movement encourages and assists the provision of mutual benefit against risks of those assessing its funds or the elevation of material and spiritual living standards by regular payment or contribution. Institutionalized through mutual funds, mutualism is universally recognized as a generator or embryo of classical forecasts and modern social security systems that currently exist within them. Okay, this can't possibly be what this is about. Mutualism economic theory. Okay, this is what it's about. Mutualism is an anarchist school of thought and economic theory that advocates a socialist society based on free markets and usufructs, occupation, and property norms. One implementation of the system involves the establishment of a mutual credit bank that would lend to producers at a minimum interest rate just high enough to cover you. This seems very misguided. Mutualism is based on a labor theory of value, which it uses as a basic for determining economic value. According to mutualist theory, when a worker sells a product of their labor, they ought to receive money, goods, or services in exchange that are equal in economic value, embodying the amount of labor necessary to produce an article of exactly the same. This is Marxism. Marxism talks about this really early on. Marx is like, okay, so this is like labor theory of value. Mutualism is just like, hell yeah, labor theory of value. Let's not analyze this anymore. Keep reading Das Kapital beyond the first chapter is what I am thinking about this right now. Is it as bad as genocide? No. Is it as bad as working with fascists? Kind of, because you're working within the fact that having a centralized bank giving out low interest loans is fucked out here. No interest loans. No interest loans. Zero interest. The bank does not need to generate capital. It doesn't need to generate a profit. That's fucking weird that you want it to have an interest rate. Well, Alex, currency has an interest rate. But this isn't even anarchist. Anarchist school of thought, but you have a central bank? The central bank is then the state there. What? Okay, am I wrong in thinking that this just makes no fucking sense? Just make me a cat girl. Hell yeah, cat boys, cat girls, we are the future. You know, you don't have to get genetically engineered horns. You can get implants. Pretty cool. But genetically engineered horns would be pretty dope. I can't just... This is pissing me off. Chat's going in a great direction, and I'm trying to, like, hold the line. Like, no, I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna focus. Then I keep getting distracted. It's a good thing. Mutualists argue for conditional titles to land. No, this is just capitalism with extra steps. No, fuck off. Post-left anarchism? Oh, shit. That's not what I meant to move up here. Mutualism. Post-left anarchism, we'll get to it, I guess. Gosh, Marxist Leninism. Marxist Leninist. Marxist Leninism was a formal communist ideology, main communist movement throughout the 20th century, formerly in the state ideology adopted by the USSR, its satellite states in the Eastern Bloc, and various... You know what? I don't need to read about this. D. Yeah. No, it's Sovietism. It's Stalinism. Post-left anarchism. What the fuck is post-left anarchism? Post-left anarchy is a recent current in anarchist thought and promotes a critique of anarchism's relationship to traditional leftism. Some post-leftists seek to escape the confines of ideology in general. Oh my god, anarchist centrists? Christ, can they get worse? Presenting a critique of organizations and morality influenced by the works of Max Stirner, the Situationist International. Post-left anarchy is marked by a focus on social insurrection, demonetization of leftist social organization. Post-leftists argue that the left, even the revolutionary left, is anachronistic and incapable of creating change. They claim post-left anarchy offers critiques of radical strategies and tactics which it considers antiquated. Demonstration, class-oriented struggle, focus on tradition, and ability to escape the confines of history. The book Anarchy in the Age of Dinosaurs, for example, criticizes traditional leftist ideas and class anarchism while calling for a rejuvenated anarchist movement. The Crimis Incorporated essay, Your Politics Are Boring as Fuck, is another critique of leftist movements. Why has the oppressed proletariat not come to its senses and joined your fight for... Alright, yep, no, F tier. I'm putting you with the Pol Pots. I'm putting you with the Pol Pot. I'm doing it. I'm not sorry. We're done. Am I happy about this? Fuck no. This just pissed me off. I came in here to have a good time. Ugh. Doing cute girl shit while you try to pick through the leftist bickering. Essentially, yes. I'm just, like, embodying leftist infighting in my own head, and there's... I thought it was hot girl shit going on in chat. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, this is way more enjoyable. Alright, we're, What's just an absolute joy about this is I can post this on Twitter with a link to this fucking stream, the VOD, or what I upload to YouTube, and be like, I'm right, and here's an hour and 40 minutes why. Oh my god, I'm just peak leftist right now. Holy shit. This hurt. Alright, we're done. We're done with it. Thanks for hanging out, genuinely. It made this a lot more enjoyable. Always a joy to talk to both of you. Being hot and being cute are not one and the same. You're right, you're both. I was wrong. Hot girl shit it do be a meme though, and that's why I think it takes precedent. Yeah. From Hot Girl Summer. It do be a contemporary meme. I say contemporary. It's 2 months old now. Can't talk right now, I'm doing hot girl shit. 2 months old, might as well be 2 years old. Alright. Well, YouTube, this is it for today. Until whenever, I'm gonna say toodaloo, take care. Marx is the way, and the light conform. Okay, I'll be honest before I'm done. I'm really sad that Christian communism wasn't in here. Like, they have Baathism, which has really interesting ties to Islam. But Christian communism is, like, in the United States, actually pretty based in recontextualizing Christianity to be communist, revolutionary, Marxist, religious idea. Like, that's really fascinating, and I think would be a redemption arc for Christianity. But we didn't get that in here. Instead, we got fucking egoism, situationalism, and third worldism, which aren't even... We got intersectionality, which isn't even an ism. Alright, good, I'm angry. Alright, until next time, YouTube. Toodaloo, take care, see you then. Bye-bye. Oh, okay, we're just doing the thing where we're not gonna stop recording. Bye? No? Click the button. Fine. Goodbye.